I think one of the reasons we're having this conversation is because when you're talking about the Black woman, as I alluded to before, who would seemingly be more in alignment with the ideals of the Black manosphere, they were disturbed, right, by the position that was taken by the Black manosphere. There was like, hey, what's going on? This is not right. And so that's why I wanted to seek understanding on what was going on and the intention and the motives, and more specifically, what the Black manosphere was getting out of this. But I don't think any of the ones that I'm talking about, the ones who are mad, right, are the ones who felt like this isn't right. Again, we're talking about the ones who have a past as being called a pick me. They'd be more in alignment with the pick me space. They'd be more in alignment with the ones that would be called mammies, all the time, different stuff. Right. The ones following, the divestiture swirler stuff, we already know that they're on a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
And what's interesting, the question about what the Black manosphere or me in particular is getting out of it, compared to what exactly? What was I getting out of it before? See, I find it interesting that we'll ask the question now that the white girl's in the middle of the frame, but we never asked the question before. And correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't I a simp for letting these ladies in the door? Wasn't I, being taken in by them and all the rest of it? But now all of a sudden that the white girl's in the door, now all of a sudden that previous simp appellation and me letting these ladies in the door and me caping and jumping out the window for these chameleons, and I hear what brothers say, now all of a sudden that's been washed clean, right?
No, I think, I can't speak for everybody, obviously. As I mentioned before, I made this point a few months ago. I was like, look, you over here swirling or whatever, this is the byproduct of swirling. You're going to have white people in the conversation with relationships, whatever. Where this issue took off was regarding around the topic of cultural gatekeeping, saying things that are considered disrespectful to the experience of our ancestors. I think we can all agree that if those things were said or alluded to with the Jewish community, then I don't think we'd be having this conversation. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. It's interesting about the gatekeeping conversation, because you and I have had this conversation before, and I want to revisit it here right now. I have asked consistently, what do Black women owe the community, and how does it manifest? I have been asking this question for years now, and I can never get a straight answer. See, the premise is that the only ones that are keeping, watch and keeping vigil over the community are Black men. I said that's a bunch of bunk. Black women cultural gatekeep too. But see, this is another problem. This is another contradiction with a lot of Black women. They want it both ways. They want to be able to determine when things get closed off and when they don't. That's hence divesting, hence swirling. See, they want to have that option. They want that on the table, but when it's not advantageous to them, now all of a sudden we got to keep it Black. Crystalline Carrots, and I recently had a debate with her about this topic, and it was funny. She was going on and on about how I treated her bad years ago, and that she's a Black woman that deserved it. I said, wait a minute, now all of a sudden you Black? Now all of a sudden you Black because your fat is in the fire now. You need somebody to pull your bacon out the fire. Now all of a sudden you Black. I thought that Brad was a better man. I thought that Seth was a better man. I thought that Kyle was a better man. I thought that Jared was a better man. How come they can't protect you?
So again, I've had plenty of things to say against that whole ideology that I find to be very toxic and demeaning. I think one final question I'll leave with you, and then we'll open up the call lines, is, again, this started around some of the back and forth I saw within the Black YouTube space, right? For example, you had O'Shea Duke Jackson, who was a part of the Black manosphere, who stepped away because he felt those comments were very were disrespectful. Same with MTR. Same with you have the Danica, the Courtney Michelle. Again, these are different people, two Black women who very much have aligned with the Black manosphere. And you recently did the live that said, "Okay, we're washing your hands clean. We're washing your hands clean of these particular women who were previously a part of the Black manosphere, also Six being one of them, or allied with them, and now we feel like just Pearly things is a better deal." My question is, again, are you saying it's regarding that situation particularly, those three content creators that I mentioned, were you saying you feel like she was a better deal because she helped investment wise, she helped with the overall financial goals, she helped I guess with the overall reach as it pertains to the Black yeah, with the Black Manosphere's perspective more so than the other female content creators. Like, I guess
yes, and yes.
Okay.
And you know, it's interesting. You mentioned Six the Goddess. Now, to be fair, Melanie King's a bit different, but you know, it's interesting. Six the Goddess, you know, had Kevin before Pearl did, years before Pearl did. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Six the Goddess thought that her looks was going to be what put her over the top, and Pearl proved her wrong.
So I'm not as familiar with Six the Goddess's content. I've seen a few stuff here and there, so I'm not totally sure.
Well, you're familiar with her briefly being associated with Kevin Samuels.
I am familiar, and I think I've seen a handful of her videos, and I think there was one or two in particular where she made it clear. She's like, I'm not for everyone. I'm not necessarily trying to blow up because I know my message. I know my perspective is not. It's not for everyone. You know,
yeah, I'm looking forward to taking some calls. I'm hoping that some people will call in because I have some interesting witty retorts for their barbs of critique. So I'm willing to let's get it on.
I think I now have a bit more of an understanding as to really the Black Manosphere and really the ultimate goals and their allies. From what I've taken away from this, let me correct if I'm wrong. The overall goal is the best woman for the team.
Yep.
Right. And the goals and the values that the Black Manosphere has, whatever woman is willing to get alongside that, she's a woman that is going to,
and let's be honest about something here, Shay. Hasn't Black women overall made it abundantly clear over and over and over that they're not going to get on board? I mean, I was just on Clubhouse earlier today, and we had to have the 15,155 million of discussion about submission. We got to go round and round and round and round about this stuff. Listen, Black women don't want to do it. Period. They don't want to do it. But they expect you, Black man, to become the best version of yourself and take them as they are. Even Black, they have songs about this. They have articles about this. That is the view of Black women. They want it both ways. And I say it's time to open the field and let the chips fall where they may.
So the best one for the team, as you put it, whoever's willing to help invest in the overall goals, financial goals, as you mentioned, whoever can be a best ally as far as reaching those goals, helping to build wealth, helping to build influence, that is who the Black Manosphere is going to be allying with, regardless.
And we want it to be sisters, but they're going to have to earn it.